December 7, 1941. The Japanese unleash a devastating attack against Pearl Harbor, dealing a painful blow to the Pacific Fleet. More than 2,000 American servicemen perish while attempting to repel the onslaught. And although the attack fails to knock out the strategically important aircraft carriers, it succeeds in shaking the American people to the core. Entering the war is no longer a choice. It is a necessity. On December 11, Nazi Germany declares war against the United States. Just a few days later, Operation Paukenschlag is put in motion by the commander of U-boats, Karl Dönitz. This long-range operation is an attempt to cripple the U.S. merchant fleet, which holds a key role in supplying Great Britain in its struggle against Hitler. All along the U.S. East Coast, German U-boats sink hundreds of American tankers and cargo ships, slowly tightening the noose around the neck of Great Britain. It is clear that without American support to their war effort, Britain's survival will be measured not in months, but in weeks. With a majority of its might focused on fighting the Japanese in the Pacific, the U.S. Navy is left with very few anti-submarine vessels available for the Atlantic theater, not even remotely enough to introduce an efficient convoy system that could protect the merchant fleet from the U-boats. The bloodbath continues for months, and the fire from burning tankers becomes a common sight from the shores of the East Coast. The survival of Great Britain now hangs by a thread. Finally, in May 1942, the U.S. Navy manages to muster enough anti-submarine ships to put the convoy system into effect. Now, with the help of the Royal Canadian Navy, merchant ships are escorted along the U.S. coast to form convoys around Newfoundland. Only then are they ready, having been joined by their guardian angels, to set out on the perilous journey across the Atlantic. At last, the steel wolves of Dönitz will be facing a challenge. They are about to meet a whole new breed of enemy. Fast, maneuverable, and more than capable of sending a submarine to the bottom. The Fletcher-class destroyer.
今回やっていくゲームは、デストロイヤー・ザ・U-ボート・ハンターです。
どんなゲームなんですか？
アメリカ駆逐艦の艦長となり、迫り来る U ボートから船団を守るシミュレーションです。長らくアーリーアクセスでしたが、今月めでたく正式リリースとなったので、ちょっとだけプレイしてみました。ちなみにこのゲーム、クソ難しいので、プレイの質についてはお察しください。それでは、正式リリースで追加されたキャリアモードをやっていきたいと思います。難度は、とりあえずノーマル。U ボートの艦隊規模は大きければ大きいほど難しいですが、今回は中でいきます。
Jansen arriving.
Good evening, Captain. All preparations for getting underway are on schedule. The XO is already on board, as are the department heads. 2 boilers are lit off and building steam. Everything is on track for a dawn departure.
Very well, thank you.
Executive officer to the officer's wardroom.
We have been assigned to lead a very small formation. The bad news is that the only other escort we have is about as slow and lightly armed as some of the merchant ships we're traveling with.
That is bad news indeed. Weren't we supposed to have more escorts?
I was hoping for that too, but our convoy and routing division does not have enough of them apparently. The Canadians are helping as much as they can, but until they send the next wave of reinforcements, we will have to make do with less.
And what are we up against?
The U-boat threat has been rather limited recently, so that seems like good news for our friends from the Merchant Navy.
And what about air support?
PBYs taking off from several bases should be available most of the time during daylight.
And what does the weather look like?
Some needed good news, XO. The weather report looks favorable all the way across.
If that is all, then let's get a good night's sleep. It may be the last one we get for a while.
And so it begins, my first Atlantic pass. Let's just hope it won't be the last. There are so many things I do not know. Very little is under my control. The crew has been trained, but few have seen actual battle. How will they respond when facing the enemy? How will I respond? The Jansen is the most capable ship in the convoy. It is fast, maneuverable, and heavily armed. I feel anxious for the merchant crews. They truly are sitting ducks. Their only protection is this ship and the single Canadian escort. We are to rendezvous with the RCN at Halifax. I hope the crew can take some liberty there. With only 2 escorts, it will be difficult to protect the convoy from all sides. We will have to focus on priority contacts. If at least one U-boat gets through, this can easily turn into a bloodbath. The weather forecast seems quite favorable. We can use the break and get some good crew training done early on in the voyage. Finally, some good news. We should have air cover all the way across. One aircraft with a good crew is worth half a dozen escorts when it comes to looking ahead of the convoy. Allied intelligence thinks that there are a few U-boats along our path, suggesting low chances of enemy contact. I really hope that is correct, but my gut tells me otherwise. Cortron, this is Bloodhound. Possible sub, bearing.
129.
Range
300.
from Bloodhound.
Roger, Bloodhound. Continue to evaluate your contact and attack if warranted.
Roger. Evaluate and prosecute. Bloodhound out.
Combat sonar. Contact. Able. Now bears 131. Range 2,800 yards. Very strong propeller noise.
Lookouts. Anything at 131. I see nothing. Bearing 131.
Combat sonar. Contact. Able. Now bears 133. Range 2,700 yards. Bearing steady. Contact. Able. Coming in much more strongly. I evaluate as a definite contact.
Captain I. Officer of the deck, set general quarters.
Set general quarters. Aye. General quarters. General quarters. All hands man your battle stations. Set conditions zebra throughout the ship.
Stern depth charge detail manned and ready. Main battery ports manned and ready. Engineering officer watch reports
とい
engineering
うこと
manned
で
and ready.
ゲームがようやく
Zebra set.
始まりまし
Four
た。
boilers
いきな
online.
り敵潜水艦と
XP
エンゲージしたようですね。
Electric plant split.
今
All fire
敵艦
pumps
は潜
online.
水しており、我々から南東の方角2800ヤードの位置にいるようです。
先行している潜水艦にできることなんてあるんですか？
通 近距離まで接近しての爆雷攻撃しか打ってはありません。ソナーによって敵の位置を常に把握できているので、それを頼りに接近していきます。もう一隻の護衛艦、マウンティは船団の逆側を警戒させます。
This is Bloodhound. Maneuver to station. Bearing 002. Range 3,100 yards. From guide.
Roger. Very strong propeller noise.
さて、1500ヤードまで接近しましたので、爆雷攻撃の準備をしていきます。爆雷は浅い深度、広めの拡散に設定します。拡散は狭い方が撃沈しやすくなるのですが、チュートリアルを軽く触っただけの新米艦長の私にとって爆雷の直撃なんて至難の技、敵潜水艦に損害を与えることを優先します。
Surface radar has a new contact. Bearing 058. Range 4,800
マウンティ
yards.
に警戒させます。
New surface contact from radar. Bearing 058. Range 4,800 yards.
この画面は TRR という爆雷の照準装置のようなものです。詳しいことは聞かないでください。私もフィーリングで動かしています。赤いセロファンみたいなやつの左端のラインにグラフの点線を合わせて爆雷を発射するらしいんですが、敵潜水艦は駆逐艦に接近されると旋回するのでグラフの傾きがなかなか合いません。あと、私はタイミングもよくわかっていません。とにかく敵の近くに爆雷をばらまいてかすりヒットを狙います。
Last bearing 272.
Last range 100 yards.
Sonar. This is the captain. Investigate arc 172.
なかなか当たらん。
Investigating arc 172 through 3.
100 yards. Combat sonar. Contact. Able. Now bears
さて、2回目の接近です。さっきは潜水艦の後方で爆発していたようだったので今回は早めに発射してみました。
This is Mountie. Mountie regained. Contact Baker. Bearing 004. Range 3,000 yards from Bloodhound.
Mountie, this is Bloodhound. Attack your contact.
もう一隻の潜水艦が接近してきています。味方の護衛艦に攻撃を指示しましょう。潜水艦をフリーにすると魚雷を発射され、船団に被害が出ます。
Fire 2, 3, 4.
range 100 yards. Combat sonar. Contact. Able. Now bears 240. Range 200 yards. Very strong propeller noise.
Sonar. This is the captain. Perform active search. 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4. Active search. 1, 3, 4.
Up to the horizon. Bearing 319. Appears to be periscope feather.
Ready depth charges. Shallow
味
pattern.
方の護衛艦、爆雷めちゃ当ててませんか？
Course
はい、いいの。
329.
AI の方が命中率が良いという。
Combat sonar. Contact. Able. Now bears 3, 2.
このやりとりも何回繰り返したでしょうか？潜水艦に魚雷を出せないように頭上につきまとって爆雷をばらまくお仕事ですからね。とにかく回せ。思考回数が全てだ。
258. Last range 100 yards.
Sonar. This is the captain. Investigate fire 2.
Starboard lookout. Oil slick. Bearing 295.
Investigating arc 307 through 127. Aye, sir.
109. Course fire 309. Aye, sir.
Bridge. Port lookout. Oil slick.
損
Bearing
傷という表示が初めて出てきました。これは結構いい当たりなのでは？
Bridge. Starboard lookout. Oil slick. Bearing 293.
6. Aye, sir.
All escorts. Contact Able has most likely been sunk by a Bloodhound. Well done.
やった。敵 U ボートを撃沈しました。録画外での練習も含めて、2隻目です。このゲーム、それぐらい撃沈が難しくて、基本的には U ボートを追い返すゲームなんですよね。
Surface radar has regained contact. Baker, bearing 016. Range 3,300 yards.
もう一隻の潜水艦がレーダーに引っかかったようです。ソナーではなくレーダーに引っかかったということは、海上にいるということですね。
Contact. Baker now bears 6. Range 3,200 yards.
海上にいるなら、
This is
とりあえず
Bloodhound.
艦砲を撃っ
Maneuver
て
to
み
new
ましょう。
station.
Roger. Mountie maneuvering to new station.
Mountie, this is Bloodhound.
あんまよ
Attack
く知らないで
contact.
すけど
Baker.
軍艦の飛行って11くらい射程あるでしょ。
Stand by fire. Start tracking contact.
7-5キロくらいあるさ。
Load
どうせ
illumination
近づい
rounds.
てる間やることないですからね。
Load point detonating rounds.
Contact. Baker.
Fire.
Now bears 0, 1, 6. Range 3,100 yards.
Target bearing 0, 5, 7. Range 3,000 yards. Fire.
あ、当たる気がしねえ。
Fire. Target bearing 0, 1, 8. Range. Fire. 2,000. 8.
Bridge, poor lookout, oil slick, bearing 3,
Fire.
0, 8.
Contact. Baker. Now bears
Fire.
0, 1, 8. Range 2,800 yards. New
Fire.
course 0, 2, 0. Course 0, 2, 0. Aye, sir.
Fire.
これは、海中に潜られましたね。
Lost contact. Baker. Last bearing 0, 2.
2隻目は取り逃がしましたが、船団を守りきることができました。と、いかがだったでしょうか。大体こんな感じで進んでいくゲームです。後半には護衛艦や航空支援も増え、戦略的な要素が増えていきます。
None of the merchants suffered.
非常に硬派な対戦シミュレーション気になった方はぜひプレイしてみてください。
We thwarted the German attack. Most German skippers approached the convoy as if they didn't understand how good our radar is. We must make the most of it before the enemy fully realizes our advantage. Overall, I'd say we are doing a really good job. We are coming up to a point where an ambush is most likely. We need to be extra vigilant for the next 12 hours. I just hope our sonar men are up to the task.
ご視聴ありがとうございました。